During week 251 of Brada's Branded Thoughts, an exclusive sit-down, an interview with incoming Iowa women's basketball five-star freshman guard Addison Deal. Addie and I talk about a variety of subjects, including her decision to come to Iowa, why she turned down a lot of blue bloods to play in Iowa City, and what she hopes as far as a legacy 4 years down the road. That and much more in our exclusive interview with Addie Deal. Coming up, you're watching week 251. This is from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Let me introduce you to one of the proud supporters of From the Hawkeye of the Storm, Iowa floor covering down in Bondurant. Now, for the last year and a half, you've heard me talk about this great company in the heart of central Iowa. They've got their Tough Core click together, 4.5 millimeter waterproof vinyl flooring, great for you DIYers out there. But even if you're just a contractor or you need a different type of flooring, they've got you covered, whether it be tile showers, carpet. Give Iowa Floor Covering a chance to serve you better and serve your flooring needs. Visit them online at iowafloorcovering.com. That's iowafloorcovering.com. Or you can give them a call at 515-379-7000. That's 515-379-7000. Thank you to Iowa Floor Covering in Bondurant. Pleased to be joined by Iowa class of 2025 freshman Addie Deal from Mater Dei High School out in the Irvine area of California. Addie, it's a pleasure to have you here on the show finally. I know it's been a long road as you count down the days to actually making your onboarding to Iowa City. Congratulations, because we have not talked to you since your commitment and your signing. What's it feel like to be wrapping up the high school era and moving on to a unprecedented time at Iowa?
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And this is just such an exciting time for me. I've kind of just been waiting for this moment, not even since I committed, but like since I began playing basketball. Just the change from high school to college is so exciting. So just I'm really absorbing the moment and appreciating it.
For fans that don't know you as a person, we'll get to the player aspect of things, but what should fans know about Addie Deal?
Yeah, shoot. I'm fun. I like to have fun. I'm a hooper. I've played basketball for my whole life. I think I've got a lot of my personality from that. So, I just love basketball. That's the main thing about me, but there's definitely more. Yeah.
We have to mention Caitlyn Clark on this broadcast because you're going to play for a school that was the launching pad for her, but also vice versa. I mean, she changed the game nationally, but she changed the game for this state and this institution. You're not naive to that. What's it going to be like playing somewhere where it's packed every night? And a lot of that is because of, a predecessor in Caitlyn Clark.
Yeah. I think Caitlyn's amazing. I've had the opportunity to meet her a couple times throughout my recruiting journey. So, always been such a huge fan of hers. And just the fact that even in this past year, like the support for Iowa women's basketball, like hasn't stopped. It's just kept growing. So I think that just speaks volumes to the university as a whole.
And of course, Iowa with the new era with Jan Jensen and of course, Lisa Bluter stepping aside here a little over a year ago. How have you kind of had to, come to terms with the changes? There have been multiple changes. It hasn't just been the Jan Jensen, Lisa Bluter thing, but you've had assistant coaching changes, obviously a lot of players, a lot of experienced players, and you knew you were coming into a different era and this was not going to be the Bluter Clark era. But how do you sort of ready yourself for a lot of what you do know, but maybe some of the unknown?
Yeah. I think it's amazing how, just a lot of things have changed, like how you had said. A lot of the coaching staff has changed. The players have definitely changed. But at the core, it's still the same team with the same culture, the same values, the same style of play. So the fact that everything's a little different yet the same is really exciting for me. And I think it's just going to be so fun to just be there in the moment in person and just be around everyone. It's such a great group.
What was attractive about Iowa besides the recent history? And I'm sure the coaching staff was a big pull, but what was it about Iowa that made this worth Addie Deal's commitment and signing?
Yeah, honestly, the main thing I would say is just the culture and just the community around it, whether it's on the team and the coaching staff or just the people who support Iowa women's basketball. I just loved that so much, and I couldn't really find that anywhere else. So I wanted to be a part of it.
And I know a lot of Hawkeye fans, they do follow recruiting, and maybe they follow recruiting now more than ever because this program has just went through the roof as it relates to popularity. But there are some people, Addie, you know this, that they tune in November, they watch all the way through March or April. They don't follow recruiting. So for people that don't follow recruiting, give us an idea of what it's been like. You're considered a top 10, top 5 prospect nationally, 5-star recruit by all the big services. I'm sure you've been told over and over and over again, stay humble, stay humble, stay humble. And it appears like you're really taking that to heart just in our early conversations. But talk to us about the recruiting process. What other schools were involved? What places did you visit? And how long did it take for you to settle on Iowa?
Yeah. So for me personally, I know everyone's recruiting journey is different. I started getting recruited in 8th grade. And so I had a lot of schools reach out to me. I was very interested in just all over the place. I didn't want to stay in California, so to say. I wanted to be open to anyone and anything. So I visited quite a few schools. Iowa was one of my first contacts, I would say. I believe I got a couple offers pretty early on. And then my coaches, they were talking to me, my AAU coaches at the time. They were like, Addie, like, you're getting noticed. Is there any schools you want me to reach out to on your behalf? And I was like, the University of Iowa. I would really like to just get in touch with them, talk to them. Coach Bluter's amazing. I want to reach out to them. So I was able to get connected with them in my freshman year, I believe, and then talked to them for a while. I believe I went on 4 visits to Iowa before I committed. Or sorry, 3. The 4th one I committed in person. I committed my junior year. I went to a basketball game. And I was hurt during that season, so I had a lot of time to just think and reflect. And I was like, I know deep down in my heart, Iowa's where I want to be. So I was able to fly out and commit in person, which was just such an amazing experience.
So let me get this straight. You were asked, is there any school specifically, and you said Iowa?
I did. That is correct. Yep.
So you didn't say you didn't say South Carolina, you didn't say LSU, you didn't say UConn, none of those?
I did not say any of those. I said Iowa. Yeah.
Okay, let's the $1 million question. Why? Why Iowa? Fans are happy about that, and I'm ecstatic about it. But why Iowa?
Yeah, so my one of my really close trainers at the time, he said that, Addie, you're very versatile. Like, you can do a lot of things. That's why a lot of schools want you, because you can fit a lot of different styles of play. You're capable of doing so many different things. But he had said, the University of Iowa and their style of play, I think that's what suits you the best. The fast-paced tempo, the up-the-court passes, shooting threes, playing fast, playing hard. I think that's what you will thrive in the best. So ever since then, I was like, shoot, okay, I can definitely see that, yeah.
So was there any aspect, probably a dumb question, but was there any aspect of like, look what Caitlyn Clark's done there? That was a pull for someone playing your position and with your skill, your ball skills.
Yeah, I think I had got interested in Iowa before Caitlyn was there. It was like maybe a year before she was there. And that's when like my first interest started. But then definitely seeing her get there and be able to do everything and accomplish everything that she's done, I was like, wow, this is incredible. I kind of want to like keep building that. Like, I love everything that she's done. So definitely stood out. Yeah.
Very neat. So yeah, that's going to take a lot of Hawkeye fans by surprise to hear that you were interested in Iowa really before Caitlyn Clark became the Caitlyn Clark that the country and the world knows. So that's fascinating stuff. The change to Iowa, the shift, the transition is fascinating because you're from California. So that's an obvious one. And I always ask, like, now granted, Iowa basketball, men's or women's, I haven't really had ton of athletes from your area, your neck of the woods. Football's different, so I've been able to talk to some football players over the years and talk about that transition, people from Florida. What's the transition going to be like as far as weather and just being that far away from home? Are you just like pumped about it? Is it bittersweet? What are your feelings right now?
Me personally, I'm really excited about it. I've kind of lived in California since I was 2. I was born in Louisiana, so my family's from like down south, but I was always raised in California. But it's always been a dream of mine or a goal of mine to just kind of, travel, experience the world in different ways. So I know Iowa's completely different than California in that type of way. But I'm excited for the challenge. I've heard that the winters might be a little tough, but I'm excited for it. So
have you been in cold weather before?
I've been like to a skiing trip, and that's pretty much it. So
Okay.
I'm like totally new to it. I have a
Yeah.
smile on my face right now. We'll see if that stays throughout the winter.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to be moving to Iowa during the warm months. In fact, you're getting packed and ready to go right now. For fans that want to know your timeline, give us an
Mhm.
idea of when you're setting sail for Iowa.
Yeah, so it's actually June 10th, next Tuesday. Very excited. That's when I first get to Iowa. I get to move in on the 13th, and then everything starts on the 15th for us. So it's really, back to back to back, but I'm so excited.
Do you have a roommate assignment yet?
I do. Actually, me and Chit Chat are roommates over the summer. And then for the actual school year, we have to be with a different sport athlete. So I'm with a girl named Peyton from field hockey.
Okay, very
Yeah.
cool. All right. Um, Fans are going to love that because, man, I tell you, some of the reception we got from our talk with Chit Chat, our Chit Chat with Chit Chat was just amazing. She's going to be a fan favorite. You two in the backcourt, what's that going to look like? Because you've been able to, I'm sure, look back and see what she did at Georgia Tech her freshman year and see some of her skill set. How did you two mesh?
Yeah, no, I think she's a fantastic player. I'm excited to just get there and work with her in person. But she seems like super quick, super shifty, all that. So I think we'll be able to play a really fast-paced game, which is definitely fun to see. I know a lot of teams in the Big Ten press full court, so I feel like we'll be able to, have that pressure control, limit turnovers, that type of stuff. But I'm really excited for it.
Very neat. And we talk about the success of Caitlyn Clark. We'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the success of Lucy Olsen, and now she's
Yeah.
taken her game to the W. What did you enjoy the most about watching a different looking Iowa team last year led by Lucy Olsen?
Yeah, I think it's just, again, so amazing how completely different team, completely different players, but the same support and the same like love. Everyone just wants them to succeed, so I loved that. I thought Lucy did amazing. I mean, I wasn't really familiar with her game honestly until she came to Iowa, but her mid-range, her handles are just insane. So I'm so happy that I get to watch her on TV.
And of course, we probably shouldn't miss the other WNBA successes here in the last 10 years, the Megan Gustafsons of the world, the Kate Martins.
Yeah.
Was that a factor in being able to see that, hey, this is not just a fun program with a bunch of fans, but they are sending players to the W and players that are loved at that level?
Exactly, exactly. It's always been a dream of mine to play professional women's basketball. So I want to play in the WNBA. That is my goal. And I also want to play overseas, but particularly in the W. So to see so many different players just be there, I think we have the most active people in the WNBA. I might be wrong on that stat, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. So just the fact, again, yeah, that everyone's just so loved, so invested, but also these girls are working their butts off to achieve their dreams. So it's kind of like best of both worlds type of deal.
Absolutely. What's your favorite WNBA team? Are you a Valkyries fan now that I'm sorry, that was probably a dumb question. What's your favorite WNBA team?
I do love the Fever. I am
Okay.
a major
All right.
Fever fan. Yes.
Well, you're from California. I mean, not everybody.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not going to rip somebody because they're not a Fever fan. I mean, not everybody can be a Fever fan. Maybe they're America's team now. I guess I'm stuck in that. Pretty much, yeah. I know everybody in Iowa seems to be a Fever fan. I got people telling me I need to do post-game shows for all the Fever games. I'm like, this is an Iowa channel, but I guess people are talking about the Fever moving to Iowa someday. I'm like, is that real?
Wow. I have no idea. Shoot.
Maybe that's just the delusion in this state. So, what's your favorite thing about Caitlyn Clark's game? I know there's a lot to love.
Yeah, no, she's just so exciting to watch. I mean, she's amazing. Obviously, her threes, but honestly, her passing and just her IQ, the passes she's able to create, and just how she's able to contribute scoring herself, but also set everyone else up for a position in which they can score too. I think that's amazing, and that's what I would love to take from her.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about you as a player. We'll probably circle back around to just, who meant a lot to you. I always like to ask those questions because, I mean, I know for you've got athletes in the family, as do a number of the Iowa ladies, but like, as it relates to you as a player, you've earned all the rankings and the ratings and the accolades. So, and I'm going to ask you about McDonald's All-American game as well. But, you handle the ball well. Obviously, you got great vision. You got good size at 6 foot. You can pull up from anywhere and everywhere. But what's the strongest part of Addie Deal's game at this point, heading into her true freshman year in college?
Yeah, I would say it's my versatility. I believe I'm a really good shooting guard, but I'm also a really good point guard. So I'm able to make really good decisions with the ball in my hands. I'm able to score on all three levels, and just I have a really good motor too. So I don't really get tired that often, and I'm just able to keep that same tempo for the whole game.
You notice I fixed the layout?
I did, yeah. I was like, whoa, I see myself.
For full disclosure, before we started this, I'm like, I've been doing this for how many years now, and I'm scrambling. Like, I can't get this full screen. What's going on? So anyways, all right, figured it out halfway through the interview. So what are the weaknesses? Like, what have you been working on the most senior year of high school? And is there been anything that like Jan and the staff has said, we want you training and focusing on this before you get here?
Yeah, I've been really focusing honestly on the weight room. I've been lifting a lot, gaining some muscle. I already had a relatively like good body, but I'm like 10 pounds stronger now. So really proud of that. And then I've just been working a lot on obviously, my basketball skills. I've been working on bumping, being more physical with everything.
Is there somebody that you've looked up to, modeled your game after, at probably not at Iowa, but in the W, or somebody in college?
I always loved Sabrina Ionescu. She was always just a major, I was a major fan of her. I actually was able to play for her AAU team, Cal Stars. So I got the chance to meet her, but even like way before then, I saw her play in person when she was with Oregon. I was like, wow, this girl's incredible. Oh my gosh. So definitely a huge fan of her.
Yeah, that's a perfect comp. Did you ever think about Oregon? Was that, I mean, obviously they've been a real successful
It was definitely,
program.
in the conversation.
Okay. Maybe you said this earlier. Did you take other visits?
I did, yes. I took quite a few visits actually. So whenever I would have a tournament in a different, or not even a different state, whenever I would have a tournament just somewhere near a school, I would stay an extra day and kind of visit that school.
Sure, yeah.
So, I mean, obviously I visited UCLA, USC, Stanford I went to, Oregon I went to, Arizona, Indiana, Iowa, Iowa State.
Did you go to South Carolina, LSU, UConn?
I did go to LSU. LSU was actually my first offer, so I went on quite a few trips there. Okay. I also went to North Carolina. There's quite a few.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you got to see the country, right? You got to see all these major programs, and for people that will never get a chance to visit those programs, how do you compare Iowa to all those other places? Obviously, you settle in Iowa for a reason, but what's different? What's the same?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, everyone has like a great campus. Everyone's coaching staff is like pretty much amazing, right? But I just always felt this like special connection to the Iowa coaching staff and just the people there. And it was genuinely just the culture and the team and just how they interacted with each other that I was like, yes, I need to be a part of this, because not everyone has that.
Yeah, absolutely. And seeing Carver packed, I mean, I keep talking about that, but such a unique experience to see, even, a year removed from Caitlyn, and fans are selling out in the first 30 minutes of, tickets going on sale. So, as far as your shot is concerned, are you more comfortable off the dribble? You're more comfortable rolling off screens? Like what's as far as your shot making is concerned, is there a focus of your offensive game that maybe needs the most polishing at this point?
Most polishing. I'm really good off the dribble. I'm very comfortable with the ball in my hands. So for this past season, I'd say I've been working more on coming off screens. I mean, I have a good catch and shoot too. I've just been working on improving everything. So literally everything. I want to be the whole package. So never settle.
The whole deal, right? The whole deal. Yeah. You've never heard that one before, right?
No, that one was kind of new, actually.
Okay, so why haven't you brought up your brother yet?
Oh, you haven't asked about him yet.
Well, I was just like trying to give you the bait to talk about your brother.
I'm so sorry. Yes.
No, talk a little bit for fans that don't know. Your brother's still at Grinnell, right?
Correct. Yes.
And this is year 2 for him?
He just finished year two, so
Oh, he
going
just
into year
finished year
three.
two. Okay.
Yeah.
What's his experience been like? Hey, it's a offense. I grew up watching. What was the kid's name? You probably know the kid's name that scored 100 and some
It was
points
like
on the regular,
Jack
man.
Jack Taylor, was that his
Taylor.
name?
Yeah, man. I grew up watching. You were probably maybe not even out of the womb yet, but I grew up watching him as a kid and
That's
seeing like
crazy.
these Sports Center highlights. I'm like, that's Grinnell. That's like 30 minutes from our place. So, how did your brother settle on Grinnell? What was that recruitment process like?
Yeah, so my brother's name's Tanner, obviously going into his third year at Grinnell, but he is a very smart person. I'd like to say I'm smart too, but he's kind of like at a different level than
Yep.
me, I'm not gonna
Okay.
lie. So he's very academic, and he went on this East Coast tour of a lot of schools in the East Coast. It was a bunch of different camps, and so Grinnell was out there, and they recruited him during that, and he heard about it. He went to a small high school, so he liked the small town type of feel. And he heard about their style of play, and he was like, "All I have to do is trap the ball for like 5 seconds and shoot a three." Of course, hello. So he really likes it. He's really close to all of his teammates. They have like 20 guys at least on the roster, so
Oh,
he has
okay.
a lot of really close friends over there.
They don't have roster limits at Grinnell. What's that? I mean, what's the deal
They
there?
they do this like 5 in, 5 out. So it's like
Okay.
every minute it's like five new people, five new
Okay.
people. So
Yeah.
they have a lot of bodies.
Yeah. That's nuts. That's got to be comforting to you though to have him close by. I mean, you talk about moving across the country, but Grinnell is less than an hour from Iowa City. I mean,
Mhm.
were you close to your brother growing up?
Oh, so close. He is 2 years older than me. So I actually first started playing basketball because so I was kind of obsessed with my brother, we were like best friends. So if he would go play soccer, I would want to go play soccer. And so when he started playing basketball, I wanted to play basketball. So he's probably the reason I first got into basketball, him and my dad both. Um, but we've always been super close, like my entire life. So I'm really excited that he'll be close.
And your dad played college basketball, correct?
Correct. Yes. He
And
played at Spring Hill College. It's an NAI school.
where is Spring Hill? Is that Florida?
I
Spring Hill,
believe it's
Florida?
Alabama.
Okay. All right.
I might be wrong, but I believe it's Alabama.
Okay. And then your mom was at University of New Orleans for volleyball?
Yeah, correct. She was a setter. She actually, I'm bragging on her. She got into the Hall of Fame for like the most sets in a season or something. She recently just
Wow.
got into that. So, real proud
Cool.
of her. I didn't even know that.
Really neat. Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. So the bloodlines run deep, I guess. Were there other sports where you I don't know how that goes when you're like a 5 star and you got all these schools knocking down your door. Did you have to kind of give up other sports as you continued? What was your athletic
Yeah.
career like in high school?
So when I was younger in like first grade through third grade, I tried out a lot of sports, but I mean, basketball was my favorite. That's what I had the most fun and I enjoyed doing that. I also played soccer, but in fourth grade, I believe, I was like, okay, I could either play both and be like mediocre at both, or I could focus on one sport and try to get really good at it. So I ended up choosing basketball, and from that point forward, that's the only sport I've ever played.
You're a tall soccer player, aren't you?
Yeah,
Like
I was
I
pretty tall.
were you a goalie? What were you doing out there?
I was like the main defensive person.
Okay. Yeah, I know
Yeah.
nothing about soccer, but I know a lot of the great soccer players that I've known or good
Mhm.
soccer players that I've known have been pretty short. And
Yeah. So it was
if
a
you're
sign. It wasn't for me. That's okay.
so you have at 6 foot, you're sort of like Caitlyn in the sense that you have above average ball skills for someone who's 6 foot. So from a physical standpoint, um, that's not something you can, drum up in a science lab. So how do you use your physicality to your advantage and your size, your length, height? I mean, you obviously are a stat sheet stuffer, so to speak. How do you use all that to your advantage?
Yes. So obviously, I'm a bigger guard. I'm not the biggest guard that I've seen. There's a couple like 6'2" girls that are pretty solid. But I try to use my physicality by just getting downhill, honestly. I've really been working on backing down opponents too, just initiating contact and be able to control where I want to go and where I want my defender to go. I've been working on that a lot in the past month, I would say.
Can you post up?
Oh, of course. Of
Okay.
course. I was
And
a post when I was a little basketball player.
okay. All
Yeah,
right.
and then I
Yeah.
moved out to the 3-point
I was
line,
gonna,
and
s-
I never went back. Yeah.
I was gonna say with your height, I'm sure you were taller than almost everybody
Oh, yeah.
growing up, right? So you
Yeah.
got to play inside. So that gives you
Hmm.
some forward skills. Your vision is unique. I don't. Where do you get that?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's because so I would follow my brother around when I was little, right? I played boys basketball until 7th grade is when I was like, okay, I need to go with the girls now. But I think just being a part of like they were a lot faster, a lot quicker. So just being in that space and just realizing like I have to be fast with my decisions. I have to know what I'm doing. I think that definitely helped and continued to carry over even like now in the past couple of years. So,
Is there anybody in the NBA that you really kind of model your game after?
I've been told Devin Booker.
Really?
I have been told
Devin
that.
Booker?
Yeah,
I'm not trying to. No disrespect to
you're
Devin.
just hating on me right now.
No, I'm not hating. I don't know that I've ever seen Devin Booker make an assist. I don't know that I've ever seen him pass the ball.
Oh shoot! Oh, bad
I'm just
example.
saying,
I
like,
can't cut this.
no, I'm saying that's a little bit disrespectful to you because you've got more of an all around game. I was going to say someone like Luca, which
Oh
I
shoot!
know Hawkeye fans get tired of me talking about I'm a Mavs guy, and I have to
Yeah.
cry in my milk every day about the whole trade.
Dang.
Are you a Lakers fan, by the way, since you're out there?
Not really,
Okay,
honestly.
good,
No.
yeah. So yeah, I would have said someone like Luca, or I think it seems like there's a lot of European flavor in someone who can. I mean, I know you're a guard, but there's
Mhm.
kind of taller guys who can pass from anywhere. And one of the things that I thought Luca really brought to the NBA as a rookie was his ability to see the court. And I think there was at least one or two plays in the McDonald's All American game where I saw you. Didn't you make at least one or two assists, like full court shots down the
I think
court?
I did. Yeah.
So like and Caitlyn did the same thing, but
Mhm.
that was not something that I didn't grow up watching a lot of players who did that. Even the best of the best point guards like Steve Nash and Tony Parker and those guys. So where does that come from? The confidence to make those types of quarterback throws?
That's just how I like to play, honestly. I don't know if that came from anyone, but I've always been pretty good. I mean, I've gotten a lot better in the past couple years at seeing the court and just, hey, if my wings are running, I'm giving them the ball. I mean, I'd rather have an easy layup than have to work, 30 seconds to get something.
Yeah.
So that's the tempo that I love to play with.
Do you expect to start year one?
I mean, I'm not expecting anything. I believe I have to work for everything. So I'm ready to
Politician's
work for that
answer.
spot.
Politician's answer. Great. Great answer. I had to throw it out there for you, but I'm sure you want to start, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are you good enough to start right away?
I believe so. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been working really hard.
Yep. That's what we wouldn't expect anything less. Okay, so I guess one more thing on the player side of things, and then we can kind of finish this thing, wrap it up with a bow, and we'll kind of talk about how you got here and just we touched on your parents, but a little bit more on the family and the hometown side of things. So tell me about your experience with the McDonald's All-American game.
Yeah.
And like, what was that like? Because hardly anybody ever gets to do that.
Yeah, no, it was just, oh, gosh, I'm still just so grateful for that whole experience. I've wanted to be a McDonald's All-American since I actually knew what it was. So just 24 of the best players in the nation. I think it's just an incredible honor. Just to be around like that group of girls, like everyone is so talented, everyone's going somewhere huge, everyone's doing the best things, everyone's the best player in their entire state. So just to be there and just work out with them, we had, I think, probably like 3 or 4 practices. Then we had the scrimmage, then we had the actual game. So to just get that much court time with so many great players was amazing. It was unforgettable. And then of course the like charity side of it too was just super special. We got to visit the McDonald's house and just spend kind of a whole day with the families and the kids there. So that was of course super special.
How neat is it going to be? I know you're not playing in Kinnick with the Children's Hospital right there, but how neat is it going to be having such a impactful and famous children's hospital and medical clinic right there on campus?
Yeah, I think it's just so amazing. I mean, the wave, like, hello, you don't hear of any other school anywhere doing that. So I think, again, that just speaks to the culture and like what the school's about, you know? So I love it. I think it's amazing.
Are you just one sibling? Just the two of
Yeah,
you?
yeah, it's just me and Tanner. Yep.
Okay. And as far as people who were most impactful, your mom, your dad, both, was there another mentor in your life that really helped you through a rough time? Who do you have to thank for making you the person and the player you are today?
Yeah, I would definitely say both of my parents. They've been with me through everything, you know. They always traveled with me and just always made sure that I had the best, and they pushed me to be the best that I can be too. They keep it real with me, so there's that accountability factor too. But I mean, I love them. They've done nothing but support me and just push me to be the best person I can be. So
How
I
do
would
you
definitely
de-
say them.
how do you deal with expectations? Like, I mean, I know the thing about, and this is when Lucy transferred in. I remember standing in the middle of Carver and saying the same thing to her, like, whether you like it or not, fans are going to compare you to Caitlyn. It's
Mhm.
not fair. It's not right. You're not Caitlyn. But those comparisons are going to be made. So either you embrace it or you just ignore them. And I'm not saying there's a right answer there. How do you deal with some of the remnants of just greatness that can never really probably ever be matched in Caitlyn Clark? How do you deal with that? What's your plan? Social media, all that stuff, because it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think pressure is definitely a privilege. You know, I've heard that for a long time now. So I'm grateful to have that pressure on me. Obviously, you know, Caitlyn was amazing. I'm hoping that everyone will love me for me, but I'm gonna figure that out. I don't have it down like entirely, but just using it more as motivation instead of like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I think it just motivates me to just do better and just be the best that I can be.
And I don't mean to make this a gushing over the Lucy Olsen era,
Mhm.
but man, she was such an in my opinion, just watching from afar, such an example of that, because you're coming on the heels of it for 1 year and fans love her. I mean, they
Mhm.
just, so she'd be a good one to watch, just to
For
how she
sure.
carried herself.
Yeah.
So how do you stay humble?
Yeah, I think it's just part of my personality. I don't think I've never had a problem with being like cocky or anything like that. If anything, my like trainers and coaches have told me like, "Hey, you need to be a little more like standoffish." And I'm just it's not really the type of person I am. So, I've never had a problem with staying humble and staying rooted.
Are you someone who smiles as much as Lucy did on the court?
I don't think anyone smiles as much as Lucy.
That's great. Very good answer. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But you're not Caitlyn. Caitlyn is pretty intense.
Yeah, I think I'm like a happy medium. I mean,
Okay.
I try to smile and have fun, but I'm also a competitor, so
Yeah.
I'm locked in, you know? So it just
Right.
depends.
Are you particularly close with somebody on the team already?
I would say, I mean, everyone's been so nice already. Kylie's reached out to me, Taylor Stremlow, Taylor McCabe, all the freshmen, chit chat. Shoot, I mean, basically everyone on the team has just been so kind and nice. So I'm really
Uh,
excited to build those special connections with them.
and I don't want to forget about Emily Rodriguez, who also is joining the roster. And so you're
Yeah.
going to have some young talent, but also some good competition and practice.
Oh yeah.
Um, and so that's going to be fun. People from different backgrounds, different walks of life, and different levels of experience. So
Mhm.
all very good. And what about school? I know you transferred in high school, right? You transferred to Mater
Correct.
Day at one point. I guess what went into that, and then who have been the biggest people involved with your your high school career that you got to
Yeah.
thank?
Yeah. So I started out at really, really small school my freshman year. And then at the end of the year, I was like, okay, I could keep doing this or I could transfer to Mater Day, which is kind of like the powerhouse of Orange County. You know, they had a weight class, they had the court time immediately after school. You could go in the morning and go shoot. So it was really just an athlete focused school, still having, you know, good academics, but it was focused for athletes. So I decided that I wanted to do that. All of my coaches just throughout my high school have been so helpful to me. I mean, Coach James Parker was one of my trainers for a really long time. Coach Jody Wynn was my head coach. Love her. Coach Jesse Vargas was another assistant coach. And then also just my AAU coaches. Coach Sopak, or just Sopak is what I call him, but Kelly Sopak's been amazing. And just everyone in the whole Cal Stars organization. I mean, love them all. Wouldn't be here without any of them.
Okay, so last question for me. And again, thank you, Addie, for taking the time over the last 30 plus minutes. It's a pleasure to get to know you. It's going to be fun to get to know you once you get here to Iowa and seeing you in the black and gold. I know fans are pumped about that. What do you want your legacy to be? I mean, you got you're just starting it. This is the start of a long journey. You're going to be at Iowa for 3, 4, 5 years. But what do you want to build as your legacy in 5 years? What do you hope your reputation and your legacy is?
Yeah, shoot. I don't really want to put a cap on it, but I want to grow as a person and as a player. I want to play professional college or professional basketball. I obviously, want to win March Madness. Hello, that's a dream of everyone. But just being the best that I can be, and also just raising the team up, and just through me, I want to be able to help the team as best I can.
Modern day high school graduate, Addie Deal, 2025 Iowa women's basketball Hawkeye freshman, who will be joining the black and gold in a matter of days. Addie, super cool to get to know you. Again, thank you for the time, and we'll look forward to chatting with you more at Media Day.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
Really enjoyed our sit down with Addison Deal. She is going to be a fan favorite. I know she already is. Hawkeye women's basketball fans may just latch on to people who just exude goodness. And I think Addie is a good example of that. Here's somebody from California. Doesn't sound like she's got really strong Midwest roots, although her brother's playing at Grinnell, which is a really odd but interesting and fascinating storyline. It's just going to be interesting to follow her career. There's going to be a real need for ball handling year one. I know Chit Chat Wright and Emily Rodriguez are transferring in as well. But Addie brings accolades that are just rare among these parts, right? I mean, with the exception being Caitlyn Clark, you just don't have somebody like this with this type of fanfare. McDonald's All-American. And then on top of that, like I said earlier, personality-wise, she is going to appeal to young and old. Hawkeye fans are going to love Addie Deal. So it was a pleasure to talk with Addie. We appreciate her time. And as I'm recording this, she's moved into Iowa City. Saw that on social media. I believe it was yesterday. Talked with her earlier this month, and she is safely to Iowa City and is about to start her Hawkeye career. So much fun ahead, and the Iowa women's basketball schedule slowly getting released as well. We'll talk about that in an upcoming video. Thank you for being here, whether you're listening on our podcast platforms or watching on YouTube. Be sure you like and subscribe here at From the Hawkeye of the Storm. So much more to come. You might be surprised with some of the features coming up here from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Thank you for being here. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.